there is something seriously problematic at Chelsea Football Club, and some fans may not know it yet, but it's coming. Now it might sound like I'm being a tad overdramatic, but there's been something that's sort of been plaguing me this season, and after our failure to sign anyone in the January transfer window, it's really started to come to the forefront of my thinking about what problems that Chelsea are going to face next season, and it's something that we've kind of created ourselves, and just without knowing it. When the transfer ban was actually announced, it was a blessing and a curse for Chelsea. It was a curse in the fact that we couldn't sign anyone, even though we did have Pulisic on the way. And it was a blessing because Chelsea have this absolute rich foundation of youth players that we have finally managed to see come to the forefront of our squad. For years, Chelsea fans have been crying out for our managers to give youth players a shot. We saw it try and fail with Charlie Masonda. Ruben Loftus-Cheek was probably one of our biggest successes when bringing in youth. Callum Hudson-Odoi is someone who is a remarkable player, but Sarri just didn't seem to want to give him that opportunities that us Chelsea fans wanted to see. But this season we've seen an absolute influx of youth into our squad, which I'm completely all for. It is brilliant that we get to see so many of our youth players. We see them do so well in other leagues. It's like, why aren't they coming in and playing for Chelsea? Tammy Abraham, 13 goals in the Premier League this season. Absolutely brilliant. Mason Mount has been terrific. Tomori has been an absolutely solid player at the back. Callum Hudson-Odoi is slowly finding his feet back in this Chelsea squad. And apart from those sort of now established first team players, we've got players like Lamptey that are coming into the squad and really showing what they can do. Gilmore also. We keep seeing these youth players perform well at Chelsea, and it's just so great to see. But it's going to be the cause of a bit of a problem at Chelsea. My worry for the January transfer window was that we needed to sign a striker because Tammy he's not quite there yet. And the thing is, then when a player like Cavani hands in a transfer request, we're like, can we actually replace Abraham with Cavani? Because I don't want to see Tammy reduced to a squad player like Michy Batshuayi is. I love Batshuayi. I think he's a great player, but he's nothing more than reserve. Giroud has completely lost his place in the team after being such a dominant figure up front last season. I don't want that to happen for Tammy. And I have a feeling, with just the way that football works these days, if we were to sign a player like Cavani, that would take Tammy out of the squad. And it may be many years until Cavani either retires or leaves before we see him come back into the team full time. And this is the problem that I think Chelsea now have. We've got so many youth players now in the team that if we decide to ever replace them, it's a worry that if they will ever be able to come back and be the players that they once were. If we got rid of Mount, what would he do? Would he just be sat on the bench, come on occasionally? No, I don't want that. I want Mount to be playing week in, week out because he's a great player and he needs that experience. And sending him out on loan is a terrible idea. We've done it so many times and we've ruined players by doing that. That is Chelsea's biggest pitfall, is that we send out talented youth players on loan season after season after season, and it knocks their confidence completely. I mean, you could argue that Kurt Zouma is one of those players who's gone out on loan, come back and has been successful. But if I'm being completely honest, as a Chelsea fan, I've been very, very disappointed with how Zouma has performed this season. Anytime I watch him, he looks nervous on the ball, looks a bit shaky, and I can't think of how many times that he's recklessly conceded a goal, which hasn't been Kepa's fault. Kepa is another big problem that we have at Chelsea, is he's not performing up to scratch. And, he was the most expensive signing ever. We can't just knock him onto the bench and just play Caballero, or even then buy a new keeper. Because it's just not how it works. Keepers is not something you buy on a season by season basis. It's something you buy a goalkeeper and you commit to them for a good, at least 4 years. But we can't just start shoving him on the bench and expect Caballero to sort of fill in. I mean, Caballero is a good keeper, don't get me wrong. I really like Willy Caballero. But I think we can't just knock Kepa onto the bench. Yes, he definitely does need to improve, and hopefully this winter break will be a time where he actually improves, gets to grip, and then we see a new side of him next time. So that's really the problem that I have at the moment, is that our transfer situation is a bit screwed at the moment, because there are areas of the pitch where I know that we can sign players. A left back is very, very necessary. Marcus Alonso and Emerson really haven't been doing the business. I was arguing for a time that we needed a new centre-back, but after that game against Leicester, I really do believe that Rudiger could, take over from Zuma. I think Rudiger and Tomori would be a good centre-back pairing, and so my sort of concerns for a centre-back isn't so present. I think another position that we need to replace is a new right winger. I think Willian or Pedro do need to go now. I think they've definitely spent a lot of time here, and I think it is their time to go. The thing is, then bringing in a new player, what's that going to do to Callum Hudson-Odoi? A player that Chelsea fans want to see more, want to see play more regularly, because he's building his confidence back up after his injury. But is it going to just knock his confidence again to then bring in a new player? There were talks that we'd bring in Zaha or someone like that. It wasn't going to happen. I knew January was just an absolute mess for Chelsea. I could tell that we weren't interested in signing any players, which, considering our form and how easily we're conceding goals and how easily we're just throwing away results, it's not going to suit us. We're not like what Tottenham did. Tottenham had a very, very good squad, didn't sign any players because they were very solid and there were no gaps. They were just unlucky with where they were getting at. Chelsea, we need improvement. We need a new left back. We definitely need a new attacking option. Because what happens is that in games, if we don't get a goal in the opening 20-30 minutes, we run out of ideas, and it's very rare that we actually ever get a goal for the rest of the game. So the summer transfer window is going to be a very interesting time for Chelsea and Chelsea fans. I would like to sign the likes of Moussa Dembele. I would love to sign the likes of Edison Cavani, Wilfried Zaha. Just these options that we can have. But it's just, I don't want to see these youth players just thrown to the sidelines after doing so well this season. No one gave Chelsea a chance this season. They thought we were going to be straight out of the top 6, we won't be in the Champions League next season. But I genuinely think we can get a top 4. Tottenham, super inconsistent under Jose Mourinho. Manchester United, again, super inconsistent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We need to start getting a run of consistency where we can stay in the top 4. Otherwise, we might find ourselves at the mercy of the likes of Sheffield United, maybe Wolves. They could really come back and bite us on the arse. So that is just my 2 cents on the matter. I would love to know what you think, especially Chelsea fans, what you think we should be doing over the summer transfer window. Are we in trouble? Are we going to be good for next season, even with these very youthful players? I know competition does do very good things for squads. It makes players improve a lot faster. But I'm just worried that Chelsea are going to slip back into the Chelsea ways and just discard these youth players in favour of just signing. So guys, that's all from me. Of course, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't checked out my blog already, the link for that will be down in the description. Make sure to follow that for all new content that I'm putting out on there. My name is Louis Edwards. Thank you for watching.